Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman met with the media for about 10 minutes on Thursday afternoon, so not a very long press conference, but Freeman did answer some questions posed by the media, and Tyler Horka was asking questions in that press conference, and we'll get to the key highlights from this presser. But of course, before we dive into it, hit the thumbs up on this video, subscribe to our channel for more content, and you're going to want to go to blueandgold.com for everything Notre Dame, Tennessee State preview, recruiting coverage for I was almost going to say big recruiting weekend, just a recruiting weekend. Definitely some notable targets, though, and you're going to read all the preview content of that. So, Tyler, let's go ahead and dive into it. So the update, I'd say the biggest kind of newsy item was Marcus Freeman being asked about tight end Eli Raridan. When he is healthy, we would expect him to be right up there with Mitch Evans in terms of snaps. So give us the update on Eli Raridan, what Marcus Freeman had to say.
Yeah, up there with Mitchell Evans, especially after we saw what happened in that first game. And I know it was Navy and Notre Dame was asking the tight ends to block more so than run routes and catch passes. But you have to think if Eli Raridan was playing in that game, maybe he would have had a little bit more of a presence than even Mitchell Evans. Holden Stays did some good things as a blocker, but I think that Eli Raridan is just a different dude when he's healthy. And I'm kind of surprised it's taken this long because we saw him in fall camp and I walked out there that first day of fall camp. So we're talking July 26th, I think it was. And I said, oh, Eli Raridan is healthy. He looks good. He's ready to play. But Marcus Freeman said today that that's just not the case. They're trying to get him to a point where he can do all the little things that you have to do as a tight end in a game. And that's a lot. I mean, like I said, blocking, going out there, catching passes, protecting for Sam Hartman is a big one for a tight end as well. So he's not quite to that point of being able to do all of those things. But I think once he is, you may see like a Mitch Evans type of figure in resurgence. Remember, Mitch Evans didn't play in 2022 until the Stanford game or somewhere right around there, mid-October. He ends up being tight end 2 for Notre Dame. Of course, there were some injuries last year as well. But I think Eli Raridan's in a similar situation where once he's healthy, seamlessly transitions in, and maybe he is tight end number 2 and making a run at Evans for TE1 spot.
My kind of read on what Freeman had to say was basically he's healthy, but is he good to go to get hit right now? Like that kind of seems where it's that. Would you agree? Like it's okay, you're good, you're running around, but can you take a hit to that knee right now? Like I think that's kind of what they need to figure out.
Yeah, and I'll just kind of work in the question that I asked right here because I asked about Jadarian Price and how awesome it was for Freeman to see his first college carry be a 19-yard touchdown, considering that he rehabbed an Achilles injury for about 13, 14 months going into that. And Freeman was like, yeah, it's a sigh of relief. It's okay. We've seen him do this in practice, but can he go do it in a game knowing that, like you said, Mike, he can get hit at any point in time, or there's people out there trying to take his head off like they aren't in practice. So that's where it is with Eli Raridan too. He can run routes. He can catch passes. Can he do it when somebody's coming across the field to hit him in the gut and give him a little rib shot? We need to see if Eli Raridan is at that point. And obviously right now he's not.
So we had such a long off season where we were just dying for Notre Dame football. So in all of the years I've been doing this, I feel like I haven't been as dialed into a snap counts article as much as this Navy one. This is very fascinating. So you had, and I am now able to recite these off the top of my head, Tyler. So you had Mitchell Evans with 50 snaps, Holden Stays had 39, and then you had Jaden Greathouse, who caught 2 touchdowns with 8 snaps, and Deion Colsey, who I thought played a fantastic game, had that really nice diving catch. I had the touchdown on the screen, 7 snaps. So yeah, Tyler, this was something that was talked about in the press conference day with Freeman. Are we going to see Notre Dame's actual offense moving forward?
Yeah, I think we see less 12 personnel stuff, which is obviously a running back and 2 tight ends on the field at the same time. You had a lot of that against Navy because you wanted the extra blocker out there. If you go back and rewatch that Navy game, Navy blitzed just about as much as it did against Notre Dame in 2022. In this game, I just think that the offensive line and the tight ends were holding up a little bit better, and that helped Sam Hartman. Going forward, you're probably going to see less of that exotic blitzing against more of these traditional teams, and that allows you to, if you're Notre Dame and you're Jared Parker and you want to spread it out a little bit more, I think you can do that. You can put Jaden Greathouse on the field at the same time as Chris Tyree if you want to have 4 wide receivers. Or you could put Deion Colsey out there with Jaden Thomas and Tobias Merriweather at the same time and not feel bad about it. So I think when you mentioned those snap counts, which it was crazy. I watched your video with Tim Hyde, and Tim Hyde was like, it felt like Jaden Greathouse was out there for more than 8 snaps because he just kind of dominated the game. Imagine what he could do with 20, 25 snaps. I think you're going to see that maybe as soon as Tennessee State. You're going to see Deion Colsey play a little bit more. You're not going to need Mitchell Evans to play 50 snaps, which the starting offensive lineman played 52 in this game, I think it was. Like your Joe Alts, your Blake Fishers, your Zeke Corrals. 52. Mitchell Evans played 50. He's no Michael Mayer. He's a good tight end, but you don't need him on the field that much when you have guys like Greathouse and Colsey. So absolutely, I think you see a little bit more of what you're going to see going forward from Notre Dame starting on Saturday.
Yeah, the receiver position to me is probably the most interesting on the team right now. Well, I mean, I guess quarterback because it's the quarterback position, but just the receiver, who steps up, who emerges, who doesn't. Just really interesting kind of storylines there. Significance of the game, Tyler. Obviously, Notre Dame's first time playing an FCS program, but it's also an HBCU school, a historical Black college and university. Eddie George, the head coach there. Ohio State, and then for me growing up, seeing him with the Tennessee Titans was awesome. And Freeman,
Dallas Cowboys too, for 1 year, I think it was the last year of his career. So we share that.
There you go. I can't say I remember that, but I remember the Titans years. But yeah, so just Freeman talking about the significance of this game, Tyler.
Yeah, it's a big thing because look, a lot of schools out there play FCS schools all the time. Notre Dame is not one of them. This is the first time ever. If you're going to do it, you might as well make it a pretty big thing like this. Like I was just on Twitter before we got on here, and I saw a photo of Marcus Freeman and Eddie George. Must have been from that press conference back in like April of 2022, I think it was, when this game got announced. And you don't do a press conference like that when Alabama plays, who are they playing, like Middle Tennessee this week?
Sure.
Mercer, whoever it is, Lehigh, I don't know. You don't see that press conference like that because this is Eddie George. Eddie George won the Heisman the year I was born, by the way. So if you want to do the math on that to see how old I am, yeah, I mean, Eddie George is a Heisman Trophy winner. He played at Ohio State. Marcus Freeman played at Ohio State. Eddie George was asked about that yesterday, too. He said he didn't want to make this game all about that. But if you're going to have 2 Black head coaches like this go head to head, you might as well have them from a big time institution like Ohio State. I think that draws eyes on this game. People will be watching on NBC that aren't Notre Dame fans or have nothing to do with Tennessee State. So I wrote it really kind of was a column, but it was more so of a preview of why this makes sense for Notre Dame to play Tennessee State. I think it makes sense because they just got off the plane coming back from Dublin. So you might as well play an FCS team if you're not going to have a bye week. And then for all the reasons that we just mentioned, if you're going to play an FCS team, make it someone as cool as Tennessee State, like Jackson State and Deion Sanders. That would have been cool as well. But obviously he's at Colorado now. So among the ranks of FCS teams, I think Notre Dame went with a pretty good one with Tennessee State.
Completely agree. Amazing points. If you're someone who's like a traditionalist and you rally your Notre Dame fandom around, we've never played an FCS program. I'm sorry, this sucks for you. Like that's just the truth. But they're playing the game. But that point of if you're gonna play an FCS team, let's make it Tennessee State and Eddie George and HBCU. Like I'm pretty excited about this game too. Again, compared to Alabama beating Mercer 70-0, it means absolutely nothing. This actually is a pretty cool game. So, and that's look, folks, that's what makes Notre Dame, like Notre Dame is unique. It's different than all these other schools because they do special things like this. I don't know. I'm probably sounding like a little fanboy right now, but listen, Notre Dame, we all love Notre Dame for different reasons. But it all boils down to Notre Dame is just unique and it's awesome. And I love the game. Tyler, you look like you want to add something before we sign off?
Yeah, just a real quick comment on all that. If you're going to snap a streak or whatever you want to call it of not playing an FCS team, might as well do it in a unique way. Like that's the unique thing. Notre Dame's one of 3 FBS teams, USC and UCLA being the 2 others that have never played an FCS team. Well, if you're going to come off that list, you might as well do it in grand fashion. And that's what I was saying. They're doing that with Tennessee State. So, and also one more thing, just for all the fans, there is so much more to hang your hat on about Notre Dame football than having never played an FCS team. So just please watch the game, watch Notre Dame win this game and let it go, man.
And it's on NBC, so you don't even have to buy Peacock for that. That's in a
Yeah,
couple
there you
weeks.
go.
But folks, please do hit that thumbs up if you have not done so yet on this video. It really helps our video reach more Notre Dame fans. And of course, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any other videos. Head to blueandgold.com for all the coverage leading up to Notre Dame, Tennessee State. And as always, folks, we will catch you next time.